Hello, this is Miho. I'm from Canada. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are good with mentally and physically. Today I was thinking how I shift myself or transform myself, being very negative and living in a place where I just didn't like myself, no confidence, no self-esteem. I felt I had no worth, to transform myself to be where I am at. And I'm still going on process, but I will share how I made that shift. So when I was living the life where I felt everything is not going well, everything is not the way I wanted, or it just things didn't work out well no matter what I tried. And when something happens, what I did was to blame others, because my parents are like that, because my environment is not perfectly set to do this or do this challenge, because I don't have money, because my personality doesn't fit, because there's so many reasons that I blame on other force. And it's true that you might not have a good upbringing experience and you got hurt, your heart was broken, and you had this really negative experience. But when you keep living blaming others, that doesn't make your life better. It's just getting in a vicious cycle, because you're giving off that victim mode. So what you get is the reality that you feel being victim of. So it kind of becomes like forever cycle. So one day I made a shift. So this idea didn't pop up to me. I was searching because I was hurt inside and I wanted to go forward, but I didn't know how. Frustration and disappointments and putting myself down, and I just didn't want to have the life the way it was. I just even wanted to end it. So I was really desperate to find a way out. So the bookstore was my favorite place to be hanging around to seek the answers. And it carried on to DVDs or people's stories or talk, but I really didn't find nailing it down to what I really wanted, like a breakthrough point. But slowly I shifted to myself to become the person that, or become, how do I say, I started to shift myself to this reality of whole thing that's happening to me is my responsibility. I'm the one who attracting all this. I'm responsible for the way I'm living. I'm responsible for my body to be this way. I'm responsible for this finance. I'm responsible the way the life is. And it's a tough way to look at it, or first I couldn't really digest it, but it gets you out of this victim mode. And really, when you start understanding deeper, you have certain themes to learn, or you crave to earn something valuable in your life. And each individual has its different theme. So you pick the best place to be born to learn that theme. For me, my parents are very strict, and I had a lot of verbal abuse, and I was hurt, and my self-esteem, self-worth was totally zero or minus. But in order to get out of that cycle, I needed to feel everything is real. Like environment, like around you, or any force, like a parents' pressure, peer pressure, society's pressure, all those affect you, but you know how to go around, or how do I say, you need to handle it really well. And once you really experience the bad feelings, now you really understand what the light means, what the positive means. So you really need to balance those two-sided. And even though people who are successful, they know the both sides, dark and light, but they know how to focus more and put more energy onto which side. I was pouring my energy into the bad, negative way because I was blaming everything outside. For instance, when you have bad health, you go to see a doctor and think they will help you to recover. They will magically give you a potion that you will recover to be healthy. But the reality is, you have responsibility of your body. When you look back, you might not eat well. Maybe you were eating too much rich food. Maybe you weren't really exercising, and you just maybe not sleeping well, or you just didn't understand the nutrition, or and the body just took so much, and you didn't put the time to self-care, those things. So that's how you take a whole responsibility to yourself, and you start see things differently. So even though you see a doctor, you don't rely totally for them to magically fix you. And if it didn't happen, if this victim mindset, then you blame that person. Oh, he's not good. He's not a good doctor. It's not like that. It's more of how you can improve, like how you can get out of this situation. And then you go out to see a doctor and get advice. And you have to feel that, okay, this person really knows what he's talking about, or she's talking about, or maybe I don't need this. And when you live accepting your responsibilities, your intuition and your how you say that decision making process gets sharper. So you get all those information coming to you that really supports you, instead of like trying to find random informations that it could be good and bad and not so good. It's all jumble and overwhelms you. It kind of pops up the one that you really need. So once you accept everything that happened to your life, it's your fault. It's your fault, doesn't have the good intention, but it's more like your responsibility. You accept everything that happens to you, that you attract so far. That meant you could attract better things if you have that intention to have the better life, or to become a better version of you. And when you start to do that shifting, then your world start to show you different ways. And there are lots of ways to get out from this negative frequency living. And then when you start shifting, so does your conscious level. You start shifting your conscious level. So when you have that intention with a higher conscious level, information comes to you, have the good quality, like a higher quality instead of just so-so quality. So you get more of it from the same amount of time, and condensed informations that you need. But in order to get to that point, you need to rise to that point. So it's an ongoing process, but as you grow up, as you grow, so does your quality too. So you attract better quality informations and things that you really enjoy. That applies to anything really in your field of life. And once you accept everything that's happened to you is your responsibility, then you stop blaming others and you start to build your initiative to make things better, to make things differently, to break free from your habits. So this habit is something that you created the whole life. For instance, eating habit. When you don't pay attention, you just eat because you're bored. I've been there many times. I still do it. But when you get conscious about it, oh, my body doesn't need this. My mind might want to eat this, but my body doesn't need this. So you stop eating junk and you go with the nutritious food. So that's all about your consciousness too. And when you want to lose weight, for instance, you don't blame others. You start thinking to yourself like, okay, why I gain weight? Sometimes you don't know. You're doing everything right. But often, oh, I've been eating late at night. I ate this whole bag of chips. It was good, but I felt really horrible the next day, but I kept doing this. Or did I really spend the time on self-care? Did I sleep well? Or, have I been exercising to look after yourself? And all those things might come up. So you stop blaming your body condition to the others. And it's all in you. You just accept everything that happens to your life so far is your responsibility, that you attracted to yourself. And once you get to the point, you start shifting to really transform yourself to become the best version of you. So this body make I've done because I had such a bad condition the beginning of this year. I couldn't get out of bed. And I've been so healthy that I don't even remember how or when I had that condition that I really couldn't get out of the bed. So I thought to myself, okay, this is something I really need to look into it. Like something is not right. And maybe the exercise, but I do exercise, maybe the sleeping pattern or maybe the eating habit, I don't know. But I need to do something different. Besides, I wanted to change the shape of my body. I've been thinking that for years and years, and I didn't really know how to do this. So you accept that, like a certain field that you don't know or you're not expert with. And then luckily in this whole world, there's so many people who are good at a certain area that you need help for. So you accept what it is that you need, what it is that you don't know. And you have that intention, like I need help, something to improve my health. Not just weight, like in general, to be healthy and fit. And when you put that intention, boom, the information will come to you. It does. And then when you put the quality information intention too, then it will come with the quality, because there's so many trainers, so many nutritional health coach out there, and it's just so many, overwhelmed. But you have the intention with a good intuition, because you're always, adjust to live who you really are, so your intuition gets really sharp, and then it pops up like, oh, this is it. Like when you think too much about in your head, you're not really go along with the rhythm of yourself, because you think too much about it. Probably you shouldn't be doing it. But something that pops up, it happens to when you look to buy the house or place to live. When you think too much about it, probably that's not the way. That's not the place you want to live. But when you look at it and like boom, that's it. Like you have that with your, the dogs or cat. Like that's it. That's her. That sort of pops up information, like pops up the feelings, the intuition. That's the place where you want to follow. Anyway, so that popped up for me. And then, of course, the work is yours. Like you need to put the work on, like you need to do the workout. When you look at the video of the workout for somebody else, then you feel like you've done it, right? But it really doesn't do it to your body. You're the one who eats, right? Proper way. So I cleaned up my eating habit, which was huge because eating is something you've done for years in your life. And when you don't pay attention, it just becomes your habit of eating in certain ways. But when you really stop and focus in cleaning up your eating habits, that's a lot of gear change. You really need to focus. And so that's a big thing for me, to change the habit. So now I know how to change the habit. So you put the work on changing the habit, and your body responds to the certain ways that way you want. So anything that happened to you, you just accept and take the full responsibility. Then from that place, you could really look into how to improve, how to change, and that really leads to the transformation of you, the best version of you. So blaming, being victim mode, to transform yourself. And anyone can do this because I did it, and a lot of people know this, did it. So I really still, learning process, and lots to learn, but I'd like to share what I've done so far to get out of like living in a bad situation to where I'm at. So when you have any questions or comment, I love to discuss it, because this is an area that really, really change your life, the visions, and you really accomplish a lot of things and make you feel confident, and the self-worth will go up, and it's all within you. You just need to know how to reveal that. So I'd like to share that too, so let me know. Thank you.